Hey you guys, I have an update. Didn't think I was going to have an update this soon, but things happen. So, August the 4th, which was a Sunday, I had an issue where I was chewing gum and I felt a little clicking, like a slight clicking above this tooth right here. And lo and behold, it's a screw that had come loose. The screw that holds the bridge into the abutment that sticks out of the implant, if that makes any sense to you guys. That had come loose. It was clicking slightly, and so I contacted Dr. Golpa's office, and we were kind of trying to determine what would be the best course of action, because, you know, if one screw comes loose, if there's any kind of mobility in one area, it could affect the whole system, and so it's something that does need to be addressed. I don't think I was taking it as serious as I probably should have. So we were trying to decide whether it would be smarter to get it screwed in here in Jacksonville, or if I should fly back out to Las Vegas to get it fixed. And, you know, here's what my reasoning was for waiting instead of just calling someone here ASAP to get it fixed. I'm thinking it's time for me to have a cleaning. It's time for me to get a reline. Why am I going to have it tightened when it's just going to have to be unscrewed again? Because I've mentioned, when they relieve that pressure, or when they tighten it up and they give you that pressure, that sense of pressure in your mouth, it's uncomfortable. It's not, for me it is, because I'm very sensitive on my gums and everything. So I figured, you know, if there's a chance that it could be uncomfortable, why put myself through that twice? Why not just do it all at once? And so I was trying to decide, you know, should I go here? Should I go back to Vegas? Like, what should I do? And, then I decided, you know, I probably would feel more comfortable with, you know, with the screw being loose if Dr. Golpa were to see me, because he's the one that, you know, did the whole thing, and maybe something has happened that he needs to be aware of, like to see if it's going to happen again, you know, like if it happened once, what's going to stop it from happening again? I need to get this taken care of, you know. So, but then, you know, I don't exactly, like, I can't just say I'm just going to go out to Vegas. You know, I've got 4 kids. It's something that needs to be planned. My 2 older kids just started school. I just had to buy them a bunch of, like, school supplies and back to school clothes and stuff like that. So it's not like I have like $400 or $500 just to fly out to Vegas on a whim. Like, I'm not Kim Kardashian here. So, so I didn't know what to do. So I figured, you know, probably the best bet would be just to get it done locally. So I called an office here in Jacksonville. I called them, and the soonest they could get me in is the 27th. But I thought that if I take it easy and I don't, like, ride out on my teeth, then, you know, I could last until the 27th. But it's gotten worse, and then where I'm at today is, it's like, as I'm sitting here talking, the whole thing is moving. I mean, the whole thing is moving. I mean, that probably looks slight on camera. It's not. It's pretty dramatic, and I can't chew anything. And every time that thing moves and hits my gums, that metal casing just pierces my gums. And it's not like it's as painful as it was in the beginning, because in the beginning my gums were still pretty tender, but it's unpleasant. It is unpleasant. It's uncomfortable. So I want to provide you some advice from my experience with this situation, since I now am qualified to talk about it. Number 1, you need to be aware of the fact that there can be problems. Like, wherever you're coming from, if you need the All-on-4 implants, then you're probably coming from a bad setup. Like, you know, something not as good, like either bad teeth or dentures. Either way, you're probably looking at this as the solution to all of your problems, and that you're not going to have any problems anymore. And that's just unrealistic. You need to kind of lower your expectations a little bit and be prepared for any kind of issues that you might have. And I wasn't. I thought, I'm getting implants, no more issues. Wrong. I've had issues. For one, I wasn't prepared for the fact that I was going to be in the kind of pain that I was in after it. For 2, I wasn't prepared for the fact that my molar was going to break off. And then now, I wasn't prepared for the fact that, you know, this early in the game, my whole bridge would be on the brink of coming out. So you need to be prepared, just like with dentures or anything else. You need to know that problems can arise, and you need to be of that mind frame that if a problem comes up, I'm not going to panic and freak out like I didn't know. You need to come up with solutions. So that's number one. Number two is, if you're going to go out of state to get this procedure done, you need to think about the potential for a situation to arise where you need to act on it immediately. This, I shouldn't have waited. I should have been like, if I needed a cleaning or whatever, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, I need to call somebody and say, hey, I have a screw that's loose. Are you familiar with this? Can you tighten it for me real quick? That's it. Nothing else. No additional services needed. Just get that thing tightened, because if you don't, it's going to start affecting the other ones. And then it's kind of scary. So you need to know where you're going to go. Are you going to be able to drop what you're doing in life and fly back to another state to have a situation like this taken care of? If you can drop what you're doing, do you have the money to drop what you're doing and go buy plane tickets and fly to another state to have something like this taken care of? If not, then you need to go locally, because it's something that you don't need to say, hey, well, at the end of the month I'll go get this taken care of when I've got the money. It's something that needs to be taken care of immediately. And so you need to establish some kind of care with a dentist locally. So that's something that I should have done, and now I do have an appointment coming up on the 27th with this dentist, but I am just not sure if I can hold out that long because of the increase in mobility of the entire upper bridge. So that's my advice for you guys, and I will let you all know what I plan on doing, like if I'm going to go back out to Las Vegas to get this fixed, or if I'm going to try my best to hold out until the 27th and get it fixed locally. And I will definitely push for answers as to why the bridges come loose, because that is kind of scary. It's not like dentures, where if your dentures fall out, you can just pop them back in. If this falls out, I can't put it back in my mouth. I have to go somewhere and get it screwed in. And what if it happens on the weekend? What if it happens and there's no appointments available? Who am I going to go to? Am I going to have the money to do something like that, at the drop of a dime? Kevin can't grab his toolbox and just screw it in for me. It's something that you need to be aware of. It can happen. It happened to me, and like I said in that video, I haven't been going hardcore on my bridges because I've had a fear of something like this happening, because I know that it's not like dentures where I could just pop the dentures back in my mouth. It's something that I would need to actually go somewhere and get it corrected, and it would just be a process. So I will let you guys know any kind of answers I get as to why and how this has happened. I'm going to be positive about it, because I know that even if worst case scenario the teeth fall out, they can eventually get screwed back in, and it's not like it's going to be the end of the world for me. So I'm not going to stress myself out about it too bad, even though I'm not going to lie, I am pretty anxious. So you guys check out the links in the description box below, links to all of my stuff, my blog, etc., and make sure you subscribe so you can get all of my updates, and I can share with you exactly what's going to happen. So you all take